That's a lot of damage!
Probably one of the biggest complaints I have heard about Black Ops 6 since it came out was just the sheer amount and tankiness of some of the boss zombies. But today in this video, I'm going to explain to you the most efficient ways I have found to deal with both Manglers and Abominations. When it comes to dealing with Manglers, you would think that the best option for dealing with them would just be the biggest gun you could possibly find, but in most cases, it's actually your knife. Now, if you want to be able to just kill the Manglers efficiently, all you really need is the knife, but here I'm going to go over a few extra augments for perks and field upgrades that can make this much easier, especially into the higher 40s and 50s when Manglers start coming out by the dozens. First of all, we'll be talking about Melee Macchiato because, you know, if you're doing anything melee related, you want this perk. As far as major augments go, I would either take Espresso or Vampiric Extraction because Triple Shot does not work on your dedicated melee weapon. And as far as minor augments go, I would usually use Stick and Move, but you can either use Stick and Move or Hidden Impact, just not Strength Training because it also does not affect your dedicated melee weapon. Now next up, the field upgrade that I usually use is Ether Shroud. Now, as far as major augments go, I usually use Burst Dash. You might could get some use out of Group Shroud if you play in a group, but, you know, if you're solo, that doesn't really do anything. Now, you might see Void Sheath and think, that's melee based, why would I not take that? Well, Void Sheath, all it actually does is change your ammo type to the Void damage type. It doesn't actually give you any extra damage as far as my testing has gone, and for Manglers you want that fire damage. It ends up being more damage if you don't take this versus if you do because of the damage element change. Now as far as minor augments go, you pretty much only want to be running Extra Charge. I guess you could run the other two if you wanted to, they could be useful, but Extra Charge is just pretty much all you're going to want to run here. Now, as a little extra, if you want to, you can run Supercharged on Speed Cola. This isn't particularly necessary, especially for the early rounds before 30, 35, but on into the later rounds, after 35, 40, 45, 50, this starts to become a lifesaver as your Ether Shroud will come back very quickly. Now, what exactly is it that you want to do? Well, what I usually do is I pop Ether Shroud to be able to single the Manglers out. Then I switch to my knife and hit them in the arm. Specifically in the arm. If you hit them in the cannon arm, this will pretty much always one-shot a Mangler. If you hit them in the body, sometimes you'll have to do 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 hits up into the later rounds. But if you hit them in the arm and destroy the Mangler cannon, this will pretty much always one-shot Manglers. And using Ether Shroud, you can get in between the hordes and single out the Manglers to be able to take them out more efficiently. Now, something else I noticed while making this video that can really help you out if you don't have a Ether Shroud charge is that sometimes when you run up to Manglers, they will go to attack you with their cannon arm. And what this does is it almost opens up a kind of parry window where they will go to hit you and you hit them with the knife, and it actually hits the cannon arm, which pretty much insta-kills them. This has a bit of timing to it, but it really isn't that hard to get the hang of, and it is really efficient with dealing with Manglers. Now, Abominations are actually quite an interesting one because they don't necessarily require any specific weapon. All you need are grenades. Now, this only works with actual grenades that are thrown like a grenade, but they also have to have a fuse. They cannot be an impact equipment. And for this, all you're going to want to do is take one of those grenades and just give him a little snack. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this was kind of a surprise for me when I discovered you could do this. I had no idea that you could do this. I'm returning to COD Zombies this year from Cold War, I didn't play Modern Warfare Zombies because it didn't look very good. But maybe you could do this in Modern Warfare Zombies. Maybe you could even do this in Cold War. I just didn't know about it. But this is by far the simplest way to kill the Abominations. Now, a little extra tip on top of this for you. Frags and Semtexes work fine for this, but thermo grenades are the best, because thermo grenades do fire damage, which is the elemental weakness of the Abomination. Now, what I have realized is that the first and second heads will always explode when a grenade is thrown in them. However, the third one can sometimes take more than one if you're into the 30s and 40s, unless you use a thermo grenade. If you throw a thermo grenade into the third opened mouth of the Abomination, it will always kill it. And if you were wondering about amalgams on Terminus, shoot it with a gun. That's only halfway a joke. I haven't really discovered any kind of cheat codes with amalgams like I have with these two. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you with your camo grind or Easter egg or whatever it is you're doing. And, yeah. Have a good day.